later point. Yeah, no, we can definitely come up with a plan, and we could do a 6 month worth of shows. 4 a month for 6 months. Plus, if you want to do editing, any extra stuff, we can kind of make a package.
Yeah.
It's going to be a chunk of money, but it'll be a value come 6 months. So, but we'll talk.
And
about it.
I think we should test.
You'll lose 30 pounds.
And I think we should. I didn't even do it for the other one. We should test having other people on the pod.
I swear to God, Noah.
Whether it's a guest with a third seat or if it's you with someone, me with someone, just see how they do, because we're going to have me not be here sometimes anyway for scheduling. And if you do quit your job,
now this is your job.
Why don't you make this show make money?
Looking for a job helping acquire new shows and help run a podcast studio?
Sure.
Yes, that would be a really good job for you.
And I need like the one thing I suck at is advertising and social media and like actually knowing how to get the word out. So maybe we can talk.
Okay.
Because this is going to be a full-time real thing now.
Yes.
It's not going to be a side hustle in a wall. I already have a brand put together. I have a designer making a brand book, like the whole thing. Yeah. I have a lawyer.
Yes, because I
My
want
brother, but he's a real estate attorney.
That's tough.
So it worked out pretty nice.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, you ready to start?
Yeah, let's go. Sorry, enough planning.
Planning for the future.
Can I start the show
Jesus.
by letting you know?
Can you just like dab your face?
Yeah, I'm so shiny. Shiny.
You are the crab from Moana.
Well, I wanted to
I was a drab little crab once.
I wanted to brag about the Rogue Island Comedy Festival, and
But what does that have to do with Moana?
because I was shiny as hell in this tape. I got a good tape, and of course
know.
my hair's
We gotta like powder you right up.
I'm gonna start wearing powder on TV this year. The play-by-play
You
guys.
haven't been doing it the whole time?
No, the play-by-play guys go, and I go, look at this loser, and then I see myself, and I'm like,
And you're like a oil slick.
yeah, I'm like a bowling ball slicked with oil.
You're like a nice greasy slice.
Yeah, I really am, and
You're like that hot dog juice dripping off.
I mean, do you have a? How's that?
Disgusting.
Is it good?
It's really bumming me out.
Remember those pads that they would advertise when we were teenagers? They're like, do you
they
have acne?
work.
Just
Well, first of all, those like the Noxzema pads.
burned, baby.
Amazing. Also, the little oil pads, like that actually might be what I get for you.
I'm in. You know that you manage my look. You're my stylist. You're my provocateur. You're my muse. I was just soft days meals and uncut jams.
Uncut jams. She's amazing. I love her.
I know you don't want that out
just
there.
soft as meals and uncut jams.
Uncut jams.
You know what I mean?
Have you,
Do you know what I mean?
Have you seen?
Uncut jams.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
She looks phenomenal.
She always looks phenomenal.
No. Since then, she's gotten very weird looking, but
Disagree.
her ass in that movie is like, it plays its own part. It's fantastic. And the rest of the movie is very off-putting and disgusting.
Her ass is the same.
Okay.
Now.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So,
Bienvenidos a Miami. Do you ever like party in the city where the heat is on?
no, of course I do.
Why do I know every lyric to that song?
Everybody does.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a millennial thing.
Yeah. So
We're like, I'm going to Miami.
Rogue Island, shout out to the Doug Key, the creator. 10th year. I got into my first comedy festival. When I met you, you had done like 9 already.
I used to be very successful.
Yeah, you would be like, you can meet me Friday for a drink, but I have 6 shows. And I was like, I'm doing an open mic and everybody hates me.
I was like, I have 6 shows because I gotta get ready for the Edinburgh Fringe. You were like, Jesus.
Yeah. So you had done Boston, Ladies in Comedy, Edinburgh.
Well, there
the
was
one
also
in Portland.
Bridgetown. There was also a point, I would say, around that time in comedy where festivals were also like much more like around. Like there was like every big city that had a comedy scene also had a festival, but it wasn't like New York Comedy Festival where it was like headliners. It was like very much like this is the scene and like we're inviting other people from their scenes to like be a part of it. Like now I don't think that exists as much.
Red Clay.
Red Clay exists.
Man over there. I never did it, but
Me neither.
I did get congratulated for like
Shots fired.
yeah, what the fuck, Mike?
Anyway, book me.
Yeah, but now I got on Rogue, so now I'm Red Clay's next. But I got
You got on Rogan?
I got yeah. I got
You're like, I did the Rogan comedy festival.
Yeah. I got congratulated for winning a comedy festival from John Laster. But it was Noah Garden Schwartz.
Well, that
He's like, congrats, man. I was like, I didn't even get in. So
that used to be a thing, you know, when you and I first started dating, but like we hadn't told everyone yet. And people were like, oh my God, like I can't believe you're dating Noah Garden Schwartz. I'm like, oh, I'm not.
like tall, basketball playing Noah. I'm like, the other one.
The other one.
Yeah. Well, one time he walked by me playing at the West 4th Street. Like pick up, you know, like not pick up like one of the leagues. And he was walking to the cellar to do a spot, and he texted a picture of the back of me to be like, oh, dude, that's a bucket list for me. And I was like, same, dude. I'll trade. Like, let's go. But the story I want to tell about Rogue Island was...
Yep, go ahead.
I roll up to the first show, brewery show, and I'm like, I'm going to go hang out even though I'm not on the show. Like, hobnob, have some fun.
So even though you finally did get into a comedy festival, you still felt like you had to go... What?
I wanted to go hang.
Okay.
To be around, put my little lanyard on, and then I walked in.
You didn't just like go to the VIP section?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I've never done one. So I was like, I'm assuming we get some sort of credential, which I did was tight. And then I was like telling you, I was like, I'm not going to drink any beer tonight because I have 2 shows tomorrow. I'm going to be like real fresh.
Yep.
And lately I've been doing shows where I'm like, well, why am I so tired? And I have to like go on stage. So I walk in and they're like, you know, the performers get free beer at the brewer. And I go, give me 10, you know, immediately drinking. And I'm hanging out just like, oh, it's so chill. I used to get kind of watch, eat some pizza, whatever. And then Doug's like, what do you want to say about you? And I'm like, and he's like, no, you're next. So I had this panic of like, oh, shit. And then,
because you were on the show.
And I was next. And just superstitiously, I looked at my set list and I think and I obsess and I peed 100 times. And then he's like, next up, Noah Savage. I just went up. Did fine.
Yeah.
I would say I did very well. But
oh, wow.
Yeah. But it was funny. And then, of course, I didn't get a tape of that because I didn't know I was on the show.
Don't you think it's funny that, like, as comics, we always give ourselves, like, a report card afterwards? It's so dumb. It's like, oh, like, needs improvement.
What else would you do?
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like a weird thing that we all feel like we have to like assess to each other how we think we did.
Yeah.
When actually it doesn't matter because it's like what the audience thought of you.
No, because the mark of if I can be friends with you if you're a comic, and we've talked about this before, Mike, is if you do bad.
Oh, and you think you did well?
Do think you did well, or you're just oblivious to it and you go, psh, and you're like, wait, I was cringing the entire time that it was silent. So if you get off stage and you bomb, you go, Jesus, like then I can be friends with you.
Well, I went up to see you do a show Saturday night, and I took the Amtrak to Providence, which is like, there is no luxury travel like the Amtrak.
I love an Amtrak.
Amtrak is travel for adults, okay? You get on time, you put your bag where it's supposed to be. You sit in your assigned seat because I got business class, which I didn't even know was the thing. And then you sit down, the guy...
Is the whole train's business class?
No, apparently there are ones now with coach.
Acela?
Yes.
I thought the entire Acela is business class.
Oh, that I don't know.
I think so.
But I also booked it like later, so like there might have been some coach seats. I don't know. But it's like you get on... All I had was my backpack anyway, but you just like sit in the seat. Like you can go get yourself a drink or a snack if you really want to, but like for the most part, you are just sitting there with plenty of leg room. There's so much, there's a gluttonous amount of leg room.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you're like, this stinks and like I can't wait to be off this, it's like not even that bad compared to like some of the flights that you and I have been on together where it's like, I've been shoved between 2 450-pound men who are like licking Oreos into my ear.
It was me and Mike. That was offensive. I'm sorry.
425. Relax. And there are no coach in the cell. It's all business.
It is all business?
All business.
It's like Mike, all business. Okay. Now, what's the detail?
So what do you get if you go to first class?
First class comes with food. I've done first class Acela. It comes with like food, like meals, like a waiter will come by.
Whoa.
Hot towel.
White glove service.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I'm doing that next
pretty
time.
all right, but it's only when I'm not paying for it.
Right.
Yeah. And
well, anyway, so I get
what's
to
the most
Providence.
important deal? Wait, train, you forgot an important detail. You go get yourself a nice 6-pack. You stretch out. right?
No, I did not do that.
But I'm saying you could on a train.
Of course you could.
You look out the window, there's the coast. It's a hopeful experience.
It is a hopeful experience.
You're like, go west, go west. You're like, I'm changing my life now.
I
You look
literally
out the
sat down
window.
in that seat and I was like, am I an optimistic person? Like, I felt crazy. There was a woman who like insisted her dog was in a bag. And she was like keeping the dog carrier case like on her lap.
It was like a Great Dane.
And the conductor comes through, Anthony, shout out to Anthony, and he was like, you got to put it under your chair. Like those are the rules. That's the rules of the train. And she was like, are you sure? He's like, put the dog on the ground. Like, Amtrak is for adults. That should be their tagline. It's like, I don't want to hear it. Put your damn
Go
dog.
work for Amtrak.
Of course, I'd love to.
Be the head of marketing for Amtrak.
I'd love to just be a conductor. Are you kidding me?
You'd
awesome.
be a great conductor.
It's awesome. Also, like, they come through, they're like, please have your tickets ready. They couldn't say it more times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nobody's ready.
Every single person is like, wait, I'm on a train? You're like, you know you're on a train. You know. I also don't really understand why they should just check your ticket when you board the train. Like, why come through?
Because then they can run faster. Let me mansplain trains to you. Then the train can leave the station before you've taken all the tickets, and you actually can do it faster.
But we're all waiting online to board the train.
Yeah, but if you had to go beep, beep, it's more and more time.
But they do that also.
Not when you board.
Yes.
What? Are they beeping if they don't beep the ticket?
Beep the ticket.
No,
and then they,
no,
they beep that ticket. They
I've
beep.
always fantasized of just
I got to
getting
Penn
on
Station
and being like,
and they did a beep beep.
all right, so then why do they have to check it again?
I don't know. Any hoodle.
Our Amtrak associate.
I've never seen them do it in advance.
On the way on. No.
Okay,
They
well,
sell
they
you the
did.
ticket.
Alyssa kind of doesn't know shit about trains.
They do that in.
Oh, I'm
they
sorry.
do it
I
in,
was not on the train with either of you.
They do it in Europe because you have to go through passport control.
Sure.
But that's
Yeah.
just a person checking your passport, clicking your thing, and then it's like up to you, buddy. Get on. Get on the train.
Get on or get off.
Find your seat.
Here's some branded content for you as the CMO of Amtrak.
Yep.
We do a tour, the three of us, third wheel on the train, make a little graphic, and we just go to places that Amtrak goes.
First of all, it should be called the third rail.
Yeah, third rail.
Third rail. See?
And it's just all of us doing too much cocaine.
And then we rail on each other. No. Okay. So, anyway, I get to Providence, and the thing is, like, once you have kids, and then you travel without your kids, you're like, God, life is easy. Like, getting off the train with just my backpack and then walking into downtown Providence to eat a meal alone felt like, I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm in Providence or at like the Four Seasons Maui.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the best day of my life. The woman like changed the bread that I ordered the sandwich on based on my request. And I was like, am I a queen? I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
I felt alive. And then I went to the mall. I didn't really have that much to do in Providence, but I went to the mall.
You pretty much did all of Providence. You ate some bread and you hit the mall.
I just hadn't been to like a proper mall in so long. First of all, I was like transported back to being like 11 and being like, where's my mom going to meet me at Cinnabon? And then I walked through, I went to every dumb store, talked to every associate. I did desperately search for a jean jacket that I could not get. People commiserated. They were like, it's hard to find a jean jacket. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm saying these words out loud. But I was like so in it.
I've been to that mall to just kill time last year when I decided to fly to Providence and then my flight got canceled. I was like, I guess I'll do a mall walk.
It's a real
Kind of nice.
It's a real mixed bag. You got all sorts of things going on. And I forgot about like the kiosks. Where they're like, do you want your hair straightened? And you're like,
Yeah.
right now? Like,
You're like, yes, I do.
but Providence is a nice town, and it's like a very it feels very much like a place where you're like, do people live here like for real?
Yeah, it's very manageable. And in the meanwhile, I had done the theater show in Newport and then drove to meet to Providence. So went theater right to Speakeasy show, which had like 50 people there, 40 people, but very small room, low ceilings.
Yep. They put me, I didn't have a ticket to the show, so they put me behind a pillar.
Yeah, I never thought getting you into the show was going to be a problem.
But this is what I mean. Like in Providence, in New York, if you have an obstructed view for your seat, people around you are just like, sucks to be you, right? Like they don't care.
Yep.
In Providence, 4 strangers next to me were like, oh, no, don't worry. We'll move our entire bullshit down the bar so you can have like a glimpse of the stage. I'm like, I didn't ask them to do that. They just like took it upon themselves.
Yeah. New Yorkers are mean as shit and selfish as hell.
I'm just saying it's crazy. It's crazy when you go 2 hours outside of the city and people are like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Like, did you need some help with your packages? And you're like, are you an angel? Is everyone else seeing this?
Well,
I felt crazy.
I wanted to ask Mike about my controversial move on the show, which was I did crush that show. And would you say
A+, he says.
Yes, A+. Well, first I tried to riff about how the seats were obstructed. Bomb, nothing. Then there were people on stage behind
I got annoyed
me.
with you when you talked to the woman who was on stage with you because everyone had ignored her, and I really was hoping for like a Noah Savage like absolute freak out, like because like she was just like sitting behind the comics on the stage.
Yeah, well, number one, there were some comics that didn't do as well. One was brand new.
Sure.
And there was somebody, like you said, right on stage. So you texted me, which I felt very supported and loved. He said, just give him really crazy, scary, sav energy and you'll crush. And I was like, all right, great. So I'm doing a riff, bomb. They're behind me. That's not going well.
By the way, that's another thing that I'm now offering as a service. If you want some sort of pep talk text, you can just Venmo me and I'll send that to you. I'll send you these types of encouragement throughout your day.
So I'm doing whatever, and I'm starting to do well. I think like 6-7 minutes in, I'm starting to do well, and then I do a joke, and about 2 people, and I go, yes, applause break, and I look right at Alyssa. I ask for my applause break, and she's like, and they do applaud, and she goes, that doesn't count, and I go, I don't care, it counts.
I'm focused in on the statement you just made, which was I was 6-7 minutes in, then I told my first joke. I was like, the hell are we doing?
No. That's when I started doing like what I consider very well.
Oh, okay.
It was okay. Now I got them. And then 13 minutes in, I look to my left and I see, this will be a clip, by the way, just Civil War man. Just like the beard, he's just white, and it stunned me. And then I start riffing on him, and that's when I really started crushing. So I was like, oh my God, did you show up to build a mill on the river, you freak? What are you, part of the Union Army? And like the people are going nuts for that. So
yeah.
That was funny. But
and then you turned to her, and she was like, yes.
She's like,
I was like, finally, a joke.
Yeah, a joke. We did it.
But asking for the applause break, no go.
It's not how I do things. You're invited to do things however you want.
If I didn't ask for the business, I'd be nowhere right now.
We know.
I've actually probably been booked on like 10 shows in my life that I didn't ask to do.
Been booked.
You can do that in Europe, by the way, as a New York-based comedian. You can just show up there into shows and be like, oh, I'm sorry, was I not booked on this?
Can you?
I thought I've done it. I randomly was there in France the same time my buddy was, and he had a different show that I had, so we just went to each other's shows. We're like, what time are we going on? They're like, oh, you're next. Like, they start to panic.
That's
just stress people out.
legendary.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like that.
Alyssa, you should try that in New York.
Okay.
Are you taking a selfie?
What are you doing?
No, I wanted to remind myself of my of our topics here. World Baseball is back.
Okay. First of all, I grew up in a baseball house.
Baseball.
Bienvenidos a baseball.
¿Cómo se dice baseball en
Baseball.
español? They're like,
Baseball.
baseball, dishwasher. That is how you say dishwasher in Puerto Rican.
Sure.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Ooh, Mets hat representing. The Mets got me back in.
Oh, yeah. We're fully locked in.
And I've turned the Yankees on because I'm like, how locked in am I? And I'm like,
However,
I don't care for the Yankees anymore. I'm
However,
a Mets guy.
I've watched baseball my whole life, right?
Yep.
Just the other night, I'm sitting down to watch the Mets, and I like we can all agree the baseball outfits are insane. Like they wear their like stripy pants and like a little top and like a hat, and then they have to wear like
chains and a.
No, but that's of course like the chains and stuff are like what they're adding for the flair.
Right.
But I'm saying like the actual uniform is like a very specific type of look. Mm-hmm. But I realized putting on the game, I'm like, it's absolutely demented what they have the umpires wear. Mm-hmm. It's just like oh, some like orthopedic shoes and an oversized blaze. Like, why is he in a blazer?
Wait, do it like the trend. Orthopedic shoes and an oversized blaze.
Orthopedic shoes and an oversized blaze from Quince. Like, it's like, why? It's crazy that the coaches have to wear uniforms. That looks ridiculous. And then the players already look kind of ridiculous, but you're used to it. And then you look behind the plate and there's a man in a full, like, scary, but like a scary mask. And then like also a funeral suit.
Yes.
Right?
Well, because he also has a chest plate.
Of course.
So the home plate umpire is the chest plate. So then he's rocking like a...
He looks like Uncle Fester.
56L over the chest plate.
You know when they make Uncle Fester get dressed up for like some fancy thing and he's like, like that's what it looks like. Because the chest plate is like over their neck and then the thing is over their face. My other favorite thing in baseball.
Do you want to know why they wear that?
Yeah.
No!
Okay,
That's fine.
all
Yeah,
right.
you can tell me.
Yes.
That's tradition
Of course.
from the beginning. And they used to wear a tie.
Right.
But they took the tie off. But they also need a ton of room.
Tie goes to the runner.
For their baseballs, their clickers. They have a bunch of gear and stuff that they need to be able to pull out, and they need pockets.
Okay.
So they need to have that, and plus it has something that will go over all their protective gear as well.
Right.
It's like a beer jacket in Princeton University.
It
which
is like
I
a beer
attended,
jacket.
You know?
And also it's mobile, so when they're moving around, the jacket moves with it rather than
Sure.
a shirt that would just kind of stay constricted. So it
I guess
actually
I don't want them in a
functionally
shirt
makes sense.
either. I just think it's a really weird outfit choice. And then my other favorite thing in baseball, which Noah now knows, is that especially the way like they shoot the game is usually like they're showing the pitches, right? Like that's where the action is starting. But if the batter like gets like a little dinker or he like pops it up or whatever, I'm absolutely obsessed with watching the pitcher like run down his little hill to try and catch it. Like he's like, "Ee, here I go," and it's like something about the camera angle where he's just like running down the hill and he's like, "Oh no, the ball!" Like it's just like so like all of a sudden he's like 7 years old again. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna fuck up this play.
I don't like how they've added the oven mitt for sliding.
Oven mitt's
Obviously,
crazy.
it's really dumb. They're like, I'm going to take off my body armor that I use in case it hits my elbow, and then I'm going to put on a sliding glove for sliding. It's like, just go out there and get injured like a man.
I guess like some of these guys have gotten their fingers like really, really messed up. And if you have like a multi-million-dollar contract that involves you throwing and catching a ball with your hand, I guess it does kind of make sense.
That's
but it
why.
does look silly.
Yeah. I mean, even though Tani's all super padded up, he comes up to the plate with two oven mitts on, basically.
I'm obsessed with him. I mean, I'm obviously rooting for the Mets, but like he's incredible.
But it's been fun. It's been like, hey, Mets, Mets guy. Like people just like yelling on the street.
Right, right. I
good
did
time.
high five these two like 6-year-old men. They were like head to toe Mets gear. And they're like, we're going to the game. And I was on the phone with my mom. I was like, sorry, I have to go high five these two strangers.
Well, by the time this is released, it's probably
Over.
I think big win tonight.
Maybe I should work for the Mets. Do they need Amtrak marketing?
You've gone full Costanza. You're like, I like trains. I like baseball.
trains. No, it's like, I think because I've spent so much time with our 3-year-old, it's like your brain starts to function like that again. You're like, what do I like? I'm like, cupcakes,
Trains.
sparkles, high heels. And you're like, wait, that's like not a job. That's just like you're listing things that you like. And you're like, cupcakes?
Didn't you have some sort of deep observation about our kids that you were going to bring up?
I don't know.
No. Did you want to do that trending top 5 beers thing?
No.
We're going to do it next time
We'll do it next time. That's
because
fine.
you have to prepare for that.
Yeah, agreed. No, I was telling you that in Henry's 3-year-old class, they have teddy bears and the kids are responsible for naming their own teddy bear. And it's just like a perfect encapsulation of like what it means to be 3, because some of the kids are like, oh, this is my teddy bear. And like, I understand what naming it means. Like I'm giving it a name, but like some kids have no idea, or they're just like saying words. Like they just like don't like talk about like not understanding the assignment. Right. Mm-hmm. So like when I was picking up Henry, I'm like hearing all the kids name their bears, and one kid's like Pinky and the other one's like Darth Vader. And I'm like, Jesus. And then Henry's like, Mommy. And I'm like, the bear is named Mommy? He's like, that's it.
That's right. Other mommy.
It's like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's both deeply flattering and also insane. And then Indira was telling me that a kid that she used to take care of had some sort of stuffy and named it Indira. And The parents were like, oh. But you can't like talk the kid out of it because you're like, well, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, my initial not hot take on preschool is like, there's a lot of communication now, which I like. I like the pictures we get every day. We get little notes what they're doing. But in some part of me goes, it's like the Seinfeld joke where it's like the pilot.
Yeah.
We're going to take it up to 30,000. We're going to hang a left in Cleveland. It's like, all right. So as long as we get to the destination, I'm like, I'm sure you're doing preschooler type shit in there.
The thing is, though,
go ahead and just return the kid fine to me.
Well, for sure. But I think like best case scenario in preschools is like that basically it should be like pretty boring, right? Like the updates should be like, we colored and we sang a song and then we did the bounce beam, and you're like, that should be like the updates you're getting. But I was thinking about how like, because it's like, oh, like it can't be that stressful to be a preschool teacher or whatever. But I'm like, well, the stressful part is that you are still dealing with human beings who are like gonna bite each other or like gonna poop on the floor. And then it's like, you have to call someone's parent and be like, hey, so we really are enjoying having Tim in class. However, like this is the 4th time he's like pooped on the rug, and it's like, oof, like, and then you have these parents who are like, that wasn't him. It's like, well, he wrote his name in it and took pictures of it with the teacher's iPad, but it's like there are certain behaviors that you're like, I want the updates to be as boring as possible, right?
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like, Henry climbed a ladder and then slid down the slide, and you're like, oh.
Well, we get pics of other kids too. We get all the
Which
pics.
is weird.
Of course, I go, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Oh my, amazing!
Yeah.
Look at him on that. Who cares? Who cares? Oh my, look at him drumming there. There he goes. You know.
Yeah.
I've added to that chunk in my bit about how when someone tells you about their kids, you just like, and you have no kids. At least for me, I didn't care at all. But now that I have kids, I actually do care.
Right.
It was like a physiological change. But like, you know, I was at some show two nights ago, and I like had to show this.
Oh, you have to.
Single man, and I go, I know physiologically you can't care about this, but I physiologically have to show you.
Have to.
Because it's almost like a single man can't know about kids because you can't know about the consequences because you really got to be focused on creating them. You got to be just horny. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's an evolutionary thing that we've done.
Okay.
You can't, the male brain can't know that kids are an outcome that happens, even though you know logically you don't really know.
Yeah, but even for women, I mean, that's like just a stupid sexist thing to say because...
Well, welcome to the show.
Because it's like, that is just true. That's just the human experience. Like, whether or not you're a woman who wants kids or doesn't want kids, it's the most all or nothing thing on the planet. You can't be kind of pregnant. You can't like kind of have a kid. You have a kid. Even if that kid doesn't live with you, it is your responsibility. Like you will never, like I was like explaining to my sister when she had the baby, it's like, it's like, you will never have a break again. You will never like not be thinking about this thing. And like to someone who doesn't have kids or even doesn't want to have kids, it's like a completely irrelevant plane of thought because you're like, there is, even if you have stressors in your life, which we all do, it's like, you can't possibly imagine, but I'm like, it's just like a funny, like,
Well,
I do it too. It's like, it's compulsive. It's like, you have to show people pictures of your kids. It's like the old joke of like people having the wallet photos, right? Like they all like
there
fall
it
out.
is. Yeah. Well, up in Newport, I was like, first of all, we're in a spectacular hotel.
5 stars. You really pulled out all the stops.
But I tried to sleep in. I go, my plan is I'm going to get really tired. I'm going to stay out as late as I humanly can. And I made it to like 11:30, which is pretty good. I Ubered home and I'm like, I'm going to sleep till 11 a.m.
Wow.
I'm going to go play golf and go do my shows. I attempted to like hibernate. I was like, sleep as long as humanly possible. It was 7:30. I was like, damn it, I'm up.
The room was not the most comfortable. We also got welcomed home by that beautiful possum. I like that. Oh, yeah. He was like making his way into the indoor pool. It was disgusting.
I was like, this hotel isn't that bad. It was like, ah! I was like, Jesus Christ.
And then everything you did parking wise that weekend was absolutely insane.
No,
you were like,
you couldn't. You had a freaking diva meltdown surrounding coffee at
Diva.
a outlet store where I go, we're parking in the middle so I can walk to the bathroom and then we can go down to the Nike outlet. You go, why are we parking here? What are we doing here? I'm like, Jesus, Mariah Carey.
You made me go to the bathroom in a big Y. Then I was like, there's a Starbucks right there.
Supermarket bathroom. That's good.
Then you were like, get coffee in there. It was literally disgusting. It came out like clear white. Like I was like, that can't be good.
Yeah.
Then I was like, let's just go to the Starbucks. We're also on speaker with your mom for some reason.
Yeah, because I wanted to witness.
And she took my side.
See how patient I am?
She texted me going, I don't know what he's doing. Why can't you just go to Starbucks? I was like, then we get to the freaking outlet store, which you know like the back of your hand because apparently you go there every weekend. Why do you know it so well?
Because I brought Dira juice there and I stand in line at the Nike store, and our nanny shops around for her stuff, and then she doesn't have to wait in line. It's one of our traditions when we go to Nantucket.
I see what you're doing.
That whole sentence was so douchey, but at the same time not. But it's true to who I am. And Frank Pepe's Pizza.
Oh, and then we got Pepe's Pizza, and that honestly, we hit a rough spot. Relationship-wise, we hit a rough spot at the outlet stores, but.
I always remember, I'm like, I don't like shopping. I was there and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I would leave.
I will say, like, going into a couple of stores and they have, I'm like, I don't want to brag, but I wasn't the biggest person at the outlet store.
Yeah.
I wasn't the smallest, but I wasn't the biggest.
We're pretty small in outlet shopper
Well,
land.
but then you go into the outlet store and the only sizes left are like small and extra small. And I'm like,
we know why.
Yeah. I'm like,
when you're getting Dippin' Dots out of a vending machine, things are pretty bad.
Please, now I want Dippin' Dots. But you have to be in the right mindset to shop anyway. But then if you go in and you're like, legitimately nothing in the store is going to even come close to fitting me,
Yep.
It is kind of a wash. And then I'm like, oh, I could get some stuff for the kids. But I'm like, even that kind of felt like, what are we really doing here? Like spending money that I don't need to spend. Mm-hmm. And then what did you need? Like sneakers or something? You wanted to get sneakers.
I was going to get sneakers. We skipped. We did all this arguing and parking.
Yes.
To get 3 pairs of Under Armour spandex.
From the world's most
we got black spandex.
Hyperjacked Under Armour.
Like, what do you need, buddy? And I'm like, all right, discount code.
He had so many different like face tattoos on his arms, and I was so tempted to be like,
he was
who
like,
are they?
I was in prison, and the outlet stores are worse.
I was like, I need to know every single portrait that's on your arm, because there's 17 of them.
All right, let's do a quick Frank Pepe review.
Okay.
So, world famous New Haven pizza. Coal Fire. Is it Coal Fire?
It's Coal Fire.
And
we got the
big line.
We got the original dining room with the original pizza oven from, what?
Yeah.
1526? What was
the guy from the Providence Show built it. Call back to the thing nobody else
no one
even
else
knows.
cared.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, there's a long line.
We made friends as usual with some randos. And,
they were in town to like do a Gilmore Girls trip or something.
They went to New Haven as tourists, which you don't see a lot.
Well, for Gilmore Girls, yeah.
You don't see a lot of people just going to New Haven.
Well, they had gone to New York the day before. They weren't like total sociopaths.
That's my point.
Oh.
They went to New York City and they're like, we got to save a day for New Haven. Yeah, Shout out to all my homies in New Haven, by the way.
No, all my haters.
Yeah. Say the thing.
Okay. Once upon a time, Lee, my cousin, and I...
Just say the saying.
Oh.
We know the story.
No, you don't.
We've done the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's also just shout out to all my haters up in New Haven.
Slap hot fire.
I'm a slap fire out of all y'all. Yes. All y'all don't even know.
This was something you heard on the radio.
Yeah, but has there ever been a bigger truth spoken into the world? I am going to slap fire out of all y'all. All y'all don't even know.
Ripperino my entire asshole?
Ripperino my entire asshole.
Tell that one.
That was an email someone sent after getting rejected from a job. And they fully thought that the email was like one of those where it was like, do not reply, but it was actually just someone's inbox. And it's like, you've been rejected from this job. And they were like, Ripperino, like meaning like RIP, like.
Oh, I never got what Ripperino even meant.
It was RIP, Areno, my entire asshole. Oh. And that is a funny way to reply to a job rejection.
So we got the large cheese. I got a clam pizza. And then we got a pizza with...
Wait, here's a question for Mike. Clam pizza, okay?
Yes.
That's a white pie.
No, a white pie is a sauceless pie.
This didn't have sauce
no
on it.
tomato sauce.
There's no tomato sauce on the clam pie.
Right, but it's not the only thing, right? So white pie is typically garlic, oil, cheese.
Right, but so at Frank Pepe's...
But then you add clams to it. And then
At
it becomes
Frank-
Mike
at
clam
Frank
wants
pie.
you to
Pepe's-
agree with her even though she's wrong. What are we going to do now?
At Frank Pepe's, there's red pizzas with
Yeah.
red sauce, and there's white pizzas,
Yeah.
which don't have red sauce. That's how they are distinguishing. So a clam pie was a
Specialty
white
pie.
pie.
No, it's a specialty pie.
But if you ordered a white pie, you're not going to get clams on.
no,
it.
you're going to
No,
get
of course
a
not, but
ragout.
I'm saying-
You're going to get a nice ragout.
If it doesn't have red sauce,
Sure, I guess you could say that it is
white pie.
a white pizza.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
it's not. You can't
it's not
just
saying
order
the
that.
white pizza. I'm saying it's
Yeah.
a white pizza.
Let's
You
only
can't
Anyway.
fix
say,
in red
you
and
can't say
white.
get me a pizza, no pepperoni. They go, well, so what do you want on it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it. But the more important thing to note here is that Noah is clearly allergic to clams. And talk about ripperino in my whole asshole. I was like, why did you order this?
I keep being like, someone didn't agree with me. like 900 poops in the next 18 hours.
Did you know you're allergic to clams?
I don't
This
think I am.
happened once before.
No, she connected the dots because she's like, wait a second. I don't think it was like the cheese pizza that we eat all the time. It's just like outlier food that the last 3 times you've eaten, you've been like, oh, I gotta pull over
Because
now.
also we always get fried clams when we visit your parents.
Oh yeah.
And then every time you get
So
them, you're
good.
like, oh no. And I'm like, stop ordering those.
They're
Like,
so good though.
so good.
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, so good.
Court Square Diner, shout out.
Oh, so good.
Best fried clam strips. Ooh, baby.
And the pizza was sensational.
Pizza, the one we got with the pepperoni and hot peps was unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the regular pie lacking a little seasoning in the sauce for me, but
Okay.
the texture, which is both crunchy and elastic, kind
Yes.
of.
Yes. That's nice.
So money.
Also,
chewy is the word that a pizza aficionado would be saying.
Chewy. I
Chewy?
think of chewy as kind of like you're eating taffy and it's kind of sticking, but it is like it's a hard. I would say it's a difficult chew.
Yeah.
well, that's because also
chewy.
you had all those clams on there.
Mike's a food like
Mike's
you
a,
know,
a mouthfeel guy.
like a food host. He was like trying to be like a right. You're like a food guy.
Yeah. I
Appreciate you saying
understand.
trying to be.
Were you? But you had like a whole
that
like,
was the
pilot shoot.
that
and
was
everything.
that's the way. The nice way of saying failed.
Oh no. I,
no.
No, I'm just teasing.
No.
You had
We
a
have
dream
failed.
I haven't failed. I just closed the show at the Rogue Island Comedy Festival and did over 16 minutes.
Sometimes when I feel really bad about myself, I think about things in my life that people can't take away from me.
Okay. Like
These festivals that I did
you did do them.
They don't exist anymore. They don't mean anything.
Listen, they mean something to all these 22-year-old girls who have 200,000 followers on TikTok
What?
for telling stupid stories into the camera. Right, Mike? They're impressed.
Okay.
They're hilarious too.
They are funny
And I love them.
and relatable.
Dating.
I will say another really wonderful thing about Frank Piss
Yeah.
was that Diet Coke was
Crispy. It was, right?
I mean, you take a bite of that spicy pepperoni and then you get I don't need drugs.
Yeah.
I just need to be 400 pounds.
And it was, no, listen.
What?
If that's all you need to be happy, we can make that happen for you. And
That
the
is all I
size
need
of
to
it-
be happy.
It was about, I'm going to say, it was about a 1.5 liter cup. It was
awesome.
Massive, perfect Diet Coke.
Perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
No notes. I would say the plain pizza was it was good, but it was not. I think because we started with the pepperoni and the hot peps, I was already spoiled.
Also, just the two of us there, by the way. We ordered
We ordered 4 pies.
3 or 4 pounds of pizza. They were like, this is far too much.
Oh, that's the other thing we were laughing about is that this is not just at a pizza place. This is every single restaurant. Everyone always sits down. Not the people in this room, because we all know how to eat and we also all like to eat, so we're not insane. People always sit down. You hear them asking the waiter, and how much food is that? Like, am I still going to be hungry how the hell would this random waiter know how much food it takes for you to be full? Why don't you just order the food that you want?
Yeah.
Like, I kept hearing this waitress be like, well, I could basically eat a small by myself. And I'm like, why do we have to continually humiliate this woman? For her to announce to the room over and over and over again, like, oh, she can eat 8 slices of pizza? Like, same, girl.
Well,
Also, no one's seen the size of a pizza before.
Also,
it's
you
a pizza.
got to assume you can take down a small. That's got to be the baseline, right?
Also, like, it's pizza. Just bring it home.
Well, when I was in Europe and we would not order and they would just give us food, occasionally they'd be like, today is pizza day. What do you like? And the pizzas were like kind of like a medium, and we were over the top happy. They were so good. But we'd always see these really skinny women, and they would sit down and they'd order a big pie like that, and they would slice it and eat it with a fork and knife like you, polish off the whole thing, and we'd be like,
How?
where's it go? Pointless pizza story.
Did they drink alcohol while they did that?
Yeah, a little wine, a little cheese from the pizza. A little bit
Cheese on top of the pizza?
Yeah, then a little cheese plate on the side. Pizza fondue.
Gross.
Dip the pizza in the pizza. We got to go. It's 4:30.
Oh, okay.
And
Where are
unless
we
you have
on?
anything else. We
have date night
we have a
tonight.
date night tonight. Should we rebrand the show since you're all into changing shit? Millennial Meltdown?
Since I'm all into changing shit,
I don't hate that.
How about Millennial Meltdown? We just talk about millennial shit.
can we not brainstorm like
Why?
live on the show?
I want the super fans to weigh in because then we could talk about things like Crispy Cokes.
Amory, can you call Noah and tell him that Millennial Meltdown is not going to work for us?
Also, it could be on VH1. The other day I was like, we should just like talk about things that happened in the 90s. And I'm like, I love the 90s. Like, they already did it.
It was a great show, and they should bring it back with Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah, bring him back. Did. Okay. I almost said dig him up.
Yee!
All right. Well,
Any hoodle.
I'd like the super fans to weigh in.
Well, I was
Once
going to say, there's a few things on the docket coming weeks. We have a lot of reality show we have to catch up on, including Mormon Wives of TikTok or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We're going to watch that next.
So if you guys want to watch that with us, you should.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We haven't watched it yet.
And a big part of that.
Good.
Is it amazing? I heard a big part of it is the soda.
It's crazy. The whole thing is nuts.
Yeah, I
The
can't
whole
wait.
thing is nuts.
I can't wait.
Ooh.
I'm saving it. It's like a treat.
Getting on
My
it now.
life sucks. You know when people are like, I'm saving that show for when, like, whatever, and you're like, you're a loser.
Wait, that's a bit. Write it down. It's a good bit. I'm saving it up. What? How bleak is your
How?
life?
I'm like, oh, mine's on VHS. I'm saving it.
Anyway,
Sounds like you two are having a millennial meltdown.
or millennial moment maybe. Anyway, I got big headshots coming for ESPN on Monday.
I usually have a big head.
This is the hair I've gone with, and I shout out to June for hooking it up. And
It actually looks good, and they did do a nice job of fixing your bald spot.
yeah, and then he gave me like a comb over in the back, which goes over my back bald spot, and then he like placed this piece across to block this bald spot. And then I saw the bottom of the email, devastating news. They're like, and these headshots are head to toe. So wear a full outfit. I'm like, fuck. I finally figured out how to like look up and look over the fence and like fake it. And they're like, we're going to show everything.
Honestly, the best thing we could have done for you is like get you some like high heels or something. But now if they're going to show you head to toe, it's not good.
Yeah, so we got to work on that. But we will show that and reveal those.
Yikes.
All right, guys. That's the money and Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.